Donor. Thank you for being here tonight. And Scott Fresh. Thank you. Cindy Jankowski, who is currently serving as Board Vice President. Ms. Sarah Prescott, currently serving as Board Trustee. And Matt Will, currently serving as Board Treasurer. Thank you to each of you for being here tonight. And finally, to all of you here in the audience, thank you for your commitment to being informed and educated voters. So with that, I will turn it over to you. So thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am Cynthia Stump. I am a mother of 2 beautiful children at Moraine Elementary, and I volunteer from the PTA and excited to be a moderator tonight for the debate. All of us involved love to get the answers and questions that we hope all of you will be asking, so we hope we'll help do that. A couple of things, as we talked about, we do have the candidates' names, and we do have their current position. We talked about who's currently board, who's running for the board. But we also want to be able to ask questions to everybody. So to make sure we have time to do that accurately, each person's going to get card options. So as much as I'm sure you would all love to be up here, you get to ask your questions on a card. And then our lovely volunteers are going to review those cards. And when you have a card, you can raise it, and Debbie will come and pick up the card and provide it to Jane and Andrea, and we'll make sure we try to ask those. Now, because we all want to go home and see our families tonight, we're going to make sure that we hold the amount of questions within the time frame so we can all get out of here on time. Once we ask a question, you have 1 minute to answer. And I know we all love to talk. I am one of the biggest people who love to talk. But you get 1 minute. And Andrea is going to do a great job and raise the red flag. If you choose that you keep going, then I'm going to say, thank you, your time is done. So let's go with the red flag, and then we don't have to interrupt. For the audience, we may have to combine questions if they're similar, because then we're under time. So please do not be offended if your exact question is not read. It's not because we don't like you, it's because we don't have enough time. If there is a specific issue that you have with your student or something individualized, what we ask is that you hold that question and then maybe talk with the individual candidates afterward, because we're trying to get the broad-based issues tonight, so it's because we only have an hour and a half as well. And then we also leave time for closing statements. So for our opening statements, if you have a prepared one, that's great. And then I would like you to add to that, what do you see as your role as the Board of Education? And what impact do you hope to have if elected? And we're going to start alphabetical to make it fair to everybody and remind us of our elementary days of alphabetical. So Lori, if you could start off for us.
Good evening. I'm Lori Donor. I'm married, and I've been an educator for 22 years in the Dearborn Public Schools. I have taught middle school as well as elementary school. Currently, I teach 5th grade, and I am leaving on 5th grade camp tomorrow with 70 eager 5th graders to go across the state to camp for 3 days. So I'm here but anxious about what's to come tomorrow. I hold 3 degrees. One is in elementary education, the second is in special education, and my last degree is educational specialist in administration. I have a personal investment in the district because I have 2 girls. One attends Meads Mill Middle School. She's a 7th grader, and I also have a 10th grader that attends Northville High School. I feel that if I'm elected, I'm going to be able to enhance the board by the knowledge that I have on the day-to-day operations of a school district. I serve on building committees, district committees, I work with administration, and I feel like I can enhance the board and give them something that is currently not on the board. The perspective I bring to the board is that I'm the insider looking out. So those issues that come up that some people might have to do a little more reading on, I feel like I live that every day. So I can provide that perspective to the board. I would consider it an honor to serve on the board and bring my wealth of educational knowledge and have an opportunity to work with this school district and community members so that I may continue.
I'm sorry, we're still within the 1 minute, so if we could just, like 3 words just to wrap it up.
Continue the tradition of excellence in Northville. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Frush. I didn't realize I had 1 minute, so I got to be...
Right, I'm sorry, that's...
Talk quick.
Okay.
We're trying to...
For those of you that don't
Maybe
know...
like a minute and a half, because that's what we gave Lori. So
Okay.
to be equal and fair.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Professionally, I'm an investment advisor and officer with PNC Bank in Ann Arbor. I've authored 11 books. 6 of those are finance-related books published by McGraw-Hill, and I'm a past instructor of finance at the University of Michigan. I think it's fair to say that I bring a very strong financial skill set to the board. I also serve as treasurer of the Northville Educational Foundation and vice president of the Friends of the Northville District Library. I want to conclude my opening comments by sharing with you a few of the community leaders that believe in my leadership skills and how I make a very good candidate for school board. Last week, I was honored to earn the endorsement of Senator Patrick Kolbach. I have also been endorsed by Wayne County Commissioner Terry Marecki and Northville Township Trustee Samantha Heath. In addition, Joe Schwerb is endorsing me, Jeff Noble, Jeff Nielsen, and Chris Rusin as well. I have 2 children at Ridgewood Elementary School, so I do have a vested interest. So I am committed to the long term for Northville Public Schools. And just real quick, on Friday I was at the Red Wings game with a friend from grad school, and we were talking about my campaign. He mentioned that perhaps my slogan should be, "Make Northville Schools Great Again." So we had a really interesting chuckle about that, but in all honesty, I had to push back. Northville Public Schools is already great. We don't have to make it great again. We have terrific teachers, parents, the students. We have a great community as well, so I as well would be honored to serve on the school board. And I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And just a couple of clarifications. So since everybody does have their intro, we want to make sure, so you don't have to answer the question I asked. I will re-ask that in a moment. And then there will be a closing statement, which allows you to have 3 minutes at the end. So if you can't get everything in the introduction, that's okay. We will allow 3 minutes for you to have a closing statement to sum up what you may have said tonight or to clarify anything that you would like to do that as well. So thank you, Lori and Scott. So Cindy, to you, if you'd like to give your introduction.
Terrific. Hi, I'm Cindy Jankowski, and thank you for attending our candidates forum tonight. You know, I have proudly served on the Board of Education for the last 5 years, and I am currently seeking my second 4-year term as a trustee of the board. I was originally appointed in January of 2012 when a vacancy appeared, and then in order to retain my position, I ran in the general election in November of 2012, and I received the most votes of any candidate on the slate that year. During my 5-year tenure, I've had the support of my colleagues to serve in several officer positions. I'm currently the vice president. In 2015, I was the president, and in 2014 and in 2013, I was the board secretary. I bring 30 years of paralegal experience to the board, and I think that my paralegal service serves me well. I'm used to looking at facts of an issue, looking at the pros and cons, and it's something that I do day in and day out, and it's second nature to me. So I think that my preparation as a paralegal, along with my associate's degree in accounting, has given me that analytical process that's really needed for this position. You know, when Ray and I decided to relocate from California to Southeast Michigan to be closer to our families in 2004, you know, we had 2 goals that we wanted to reach. One, we wanted to have that same hometown feel that we were raised in, and we also wanted to find an excellent public school system. And I remember when Jim drove us down Main Street. He was a realtor. You know, we looked at the town. We looked at how friendly it was, how we could take our 3-and-a-half-year-old to the Marquee Theater on a Saturday afternoon, and we could dine and shop. And when we looked at the great school system that we had here, it really had all the bells and whistles that we were looking for. And so I am proud to be able to serve as a community servant in the great school district that we have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I also want to thank you all for being here in the PTA, for hosting us tonight. I am the newest member of the school board. I was appointed last fall after a former member resigned, stepped down, and I had to apply through a process that involved several public interviews and rounds of votes, and the existing board members then voted. And what I told them and explained to them about what I thought I could contribute at that point is basically the same statement that I have for you tonight. For me, it begins with being a mother. I have 3 young children. My youngest is 2, and so by my calculation, he's going to be in school here into the 2030s, and that gives me a vested interest in the long-term success of our schools. Number two, I'm a business owner here in this community. I opened my own law practice right on Main Street and across from Genetti's, and so I have a vested interest in the financial success of this community, separate and apart from being a parent and a homeowner. But I think what I emphasize to the board and what I have personally found to be my greatest contribution in the year that I've been able to serve comes from my expertise in law. I focus on employment matters and personnel matters in my practice. And the Northville School Board has matters surrounding employment and personnel issues pretty much weekly. And over half of our budget is spent on our staff salaries and benefits. So the stakes are very, very high that we not make any mistakes or errors or spend our money and waste our time and money and instead put that into our kids. So I think that's what I bring to the board, and I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk to you a little bit more about that tonight.
Thank you, Sarah. And Matt, for our last opening statement.
Great, thanks. My name's Matt Wilk. I'm the current treasurer of the Board of Education. I've been the treasurer since 2013. I started on the board in 2012 and was elected that year. I'm married, 2 kids. Very proud of my twin third graders at Winchester, which also explains why I'm running for the seat again. I don't think there's any role that we have as parents that is more important than educating our kids. My parents were both teachers, and they passed that along to me. I started 4 years ago really concentrating on 2 goals for the district. Number 1 is to improve and maintain the quality of the educational experience, and the second is to maintain fiscal responsibility and be good stewards of what is ultimately the public's money. I think we've done both of those pretty well. Recent news is that we were the number 1 full-line high school as far as average SAT score goes in the state. We had 34 merit scholars, national merit scholars. We're very proud of that. That shows how hard our parents work, our teachers work, and most importantly, how hard the kids work. On the finance side, which I've been responsible for 3 years, when I started the board, we had about a $2.3 million fund balance. That's our rainy day fund. As of last budget, we had $17.5 million in the rainy day fund. There is a rating agency called Munetrix. That's kind of like S&P or your FICO score. We received a score of 3, and when I started, now we're a 0, which means low risk. There's still more to do. We have to be vigilant in pursuit of those goals, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to serve the parents and serve the public for running for another term. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for your opening statements. And I know it's really quick to answer in a minute. So what we can just remind you is that if we're over here dancing, there's a strong chance you've run out of time. Because I do my best to really not interrupt during your last words, but if we could just remember, clear and concise, because 1 minute's going to be tough for all of us. So we'll go back to the opening question, and the goal is that we'll rotate who gets the first question. So since Lori started with opening, so Scott, you'll get the first minute to answer. And the question again is, what do you see your role as a Board of Education member, and what impact do you hope to have if elected?
To the first question, I think it's really a 2-part question, whereby the official role, of course, is to make policy. It's to make policy that the superintendent and